For example, there is a study that highlighted most of the water that is used for our vegetables is contaminated, and the same is being used to wash these products that end up being rejected even on the international market. So, in that vein, we also commend the government for the efforts that has put in this regard. And on that, we are seeing there is effort by the International Bureau of Standards to decentralize regional testing facilities. Those are the safety laboratories, like I've indicated. Also, government has discounted commitment for development of more standards. And by the end of the financial year 2001 and 2002, there was a total of 228 standards that were developed. But again, there's a gap that these standards are not enforced, and that is compliance being very hard. There is also a robust food safety policy framework that is predominantly governed by the Food and Drug Act. But our concern is that this has not been reviewed for years, and as such cannot communicate with the changes in technology and development that is coming up. I'll mention briefly about our concerns after commending government that effort that has put. First, I'll only mention the ones that have not been shared by colleagues, the three current speakers. One, Uganda is off track with the SADC Malabo commitment on food safety. There was a report that was commissioned in 2022 about the CAADP. Remember, CAADP is a program under the AU that is responsible, African countries are responsible to develop their own agricultural sectors. And in that, under that framework, at least 10% of the budget should be allocated for agriculture. But to date, it's the national budget man, but realized that most of the money that was allocated for industrialization as a program is indeed very low compared to what the commitments we have in that under Malabo commitments. So as such, we do not meet the African Food Safety Health Index, nor has it met the Food Safety Trade Index targets. So as upon government, as we've had a campaign going on for the issue of banning glyphosate and glyphosate-based herbicides, because internationally they have been declared cancerous. That's why I even asked the minister about that report, and I'm optimistic, as she has alluded, that one of the recommendations will be, I hope it came out. The fragmentation of the food safety mandates, that has been shared by the colleagues. And lastly is the weak enforcement of standards and preparation of counterfeits. And on this, we call upon the duty bearers, the government, parliament, and all the concerned people. The budget for example, that is allocated on food safety under UNDS has been repurposed or cut. Initially, I think in the ministerial policy assessment, it came out and it was at around 1.1 billion. But when the budget estimates came out, we saw that it's being cut to around 940 million. That shows that there's still no priority for food safety, which is endangering our performance, both in nutrition, in trade, and all these related processes. So our recommendations as civil society, of course, streamlining the food safety mandate that is in process, but we need to be inclusive. The system should be inclusive, where consultation should be wide and so that we give in our views and we leave one thing unturned. The review of the food act, that is for 1964. Also, promotion of sustainable agricultural practices. Here, I'm noting out the issue of the national agricultural policy that came in, but it's not been brought to Parliament to become a bill and actually advance the issue of agroecology. So it's important, and also we tasked MAIF to enforce Section 18 of the Agrochemical Control Act of 2007. I hope these were also addressed in the report that the Minister promised that the PS will be sharing with us. Finally, we have to strengthen and enforce regulations on breast milk substitutes. Uganda is signatory to the Global SUN network. SUN is scaling up nutrition. And as members under that network, we are not supposed to promote things to do with breast milk substitutes. And as Siatini, we lead under this network nutrition in trade, and it's mandate that everyone comes out and promotes exclusive breastfeeding, and also we look into this issue of really strengthening these regulations that communicate to breast milk substitutes. So members and ladies and gentlemen, food safety is everyone's business. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Ms. Radha Zaima, for that insightful presentation. The question is, who do we hold accountable? Is it the manufacturer of these agrochemicals? Is it the supplier or the input supplier, the buyer, or the one that applies? We need now to see who is going to be responsible for answering certain questions that are affecting our health. Ladies and gentlemen, it is something that I would love to indulge ourselves in. Would it be a nice idea for us to really come up with solid and actionable points that will give us a nice follow-up? Would it be a nice idea? Yes. If it is a nice idea, would it be in order to request Dr. Doris Chichoncho? We want to kind of ask you to, in the conversation, along the conversation, you take note for us about 4 to 5 maximum solid, actionable points that we can really all of us be able to follow up and see how we can make change that we want to see. Agreed. Let's really appreciate that. For that matter, stand up for recognition. Dr. Doris Chichoncho has accepted, and she will be given an opportunity at the end of the sessions to, in summary, present to us what you have taken note of. But also, you're also equally responsible to take note of what you think is important, which you can also share as you will be presenting a summary. Professor Guy, kindly come forward and give us your points of view on how we can really secure and safeguard our food safety. Join me in welcoming Professor Guy to make our presentation in the next 10 to 15 minutes, and then we shall be going for the panel discussion.
Thank you very much, moderator. I have my presentation. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Professor Achille Okaya from the Department of Food Technology and Nutrition, Makerere University, where I am taught for now, I think, 34 years. Before I give my presentation, let me say something. That I was invited here as to represent the academia. And our role as the academia is teaching, research, and the community engagement. And indeed, I have had participation in a number of aspects regarding community engagement. And as far as teaching is concerned, specifically talk about food safety. Like at Makerere University, we have got several programs that address food safety at the undergraduate and postgraduate levels. we have got, because of the need to address issues of food safety, we established a course known as the Master of Science in Food Safety and Quality Management. It is a 2-year course which can be found in our department, and I think we already have graduates coming out. I think it was from last year. Then the courses in food science and technology, we have the Bachelor of Food Science and Bachelor of Science in Food Science and Technology, and also Master and PhD. They all address issues of food safety. And in addition to that, the courses of human nutrition, both the variable dose of food safety, and even then, our department extends to teach, students who are doing the BSc Agriculture, and then Bachelor of Business Management and Bachelor of Cultural and Rural Innovations, courses addressing food safety. So by the time all our extension officers leave Makerere University, they know what food safety is and what exactly to do to safeguard the consumers. So I think the minister here was actually right to say that the district veterinary officers, the district agriculture officers, the extension officers have got a very big role to play, at the grassroots levels, as far as addressing the food safety is concerned. Okay. Well, yesterday we had a very good webinar where we brainstormed about the status of food safety in this country, and I think that's what I want to basically talk about with respect to the theme of this week is the World Food Safety Day, that is regarding food standards. I think we need really the standards, and whatever I'm going to talk about may be a t-shirt, but I just try to go move very fast. Okay, that statement just reminds you that this country is very, very, very good in terms of weather, and all the other conditions. In fact, we always say that we are endowed, in Uganda, we are endowed in the Horn of Africa, for the best weather. And I want to remind you that much as we are endowed with this best weather, even microorganisms, even pests also enjoy the same weather. That's why you have got a lot of tropical diseases, so many pests affecting our crops. So therefore there must be methods of managing these pests that are disturbing our crops, that are disturbing our bodies. Then also the subsistence nature of our farming, because they also discussed yesterday, it has also been mentioned here. Use of complementary technologies really, does expose our produce to food safety issues. So, what is food safety? Being an academic person, I think there's no way I can go without defining food safety. Because I think there is also a mix-up of food safety and quality, as my colleague has talked about, that the quality, fitness to use, yes, true, safety can be part of quality. Because if it is not fit to use, then we may be safe, may have had, other challenges elsewhere. So, but safety really, when we talk about food safety, we are referring to a situation where food has got harmful agents, those agents that can cause harm to the consumer. They may be actually biological, they may be microorganisms, they may be bigger organisms, or they may be chemicals, they may be chemicals which are either found in the food naturally, or they end up into the food because of our behavior. Or they may be, physical, objects, like the stones and metals and etc. Something that I want to mention here, which may be, I think, beneficial to the farmers and all of us, the consumers, that about these microorganisms. Not all microorganisms are bad, isn't it? There are those which are very beneficial. For example, those which participate in the fermentation of bread and the whatever, milk fermentation to make a yogurt, You know, they are very beneficial, but we are only concerned about those which actually cause harm to the consumer. And even those which cause harm to the consumer can be further categorized. There are those which directly, affect the consumer, but there are those which produce chemicals, toxins when they enter into the food. You may warm your food, your leftovers, the maulu, you may warm it in the microwave very well, and you think that you have actually eliminated everything, but after eating the maulu, the leftovers, you suffer. Then you start asking yourself, why is it that I'm suffering when I warm my food? The microorganisms are produced, the chemicals which don't have life, and these chemicals are the ones which are affecting you, the consumer. So when we heat food, when we boil food, we may actually eliminate the microorganisms, but not the toxins which they produce. That's very, very important. So that's the idea that we normally have when we talk about aflatoxins which are produced by fungi. Okay, this has been given already. The data has been given by, I think, Siatin. Thank you very much for that information. But one thing I want to note here is that because of the effects of food safety, African Union, has taken a lead in establishing what they call the African Union Food Safety Strategy. This was done in 2021 and is supposed to last for 15 years, different from 2022. So this is supposed now to combine all member states in Africa, for all the strategies that are being taken. Mr. Alex Ramon has said that we have got a food control system in this country. So what is Uganda doing? What is Ethiopia doing? etc. And that was arrived at after that meeting in Addis Ababa, where actually I took part and also made a presentation about the status of foodborne illnesses in this country. It's not working. Okay. So this one has been already said. Food safety. When we think about food safety, we are always thinking about illness only, but it can affect trade, can also affect food security. Now, Uganda is not sleeping, as Alex said. During the 30 UN September 2021 meeting on food systems, Uganda fully participated, and one of the 5 action tracks that was addressed was on the access to quality, safe, and nutritious food. And Uganda had a lot of national dialogues about it, and a lot of information